Okay, so today we are super excited to be here with the creator Ninaad Kothawade, and we are going to be talking to him about his creative process and the way that he leverages various technology tools, including AI and various 3D rendering programs to create truly thought-provoking works that we're very excited to be bringing to the Blind Boxes platform. So without further ado, we're just going to let the artist jump in, give us a bit of a background. Who are you? Where are you from? And how did you find yourself in this space?
Sure. So, hi, I'm Ninaad, and I am from India. I have been, I studied graphic design. I have been a professional designer and an artist for about 6 years now. I have been uh, playing around with like various different tools and technologies for as far as I remember. Um, when I used to when I was doing graphic design full time, I just wanted to get out of like my usual daily mold and play around with like certain things. So I used to pick up like different softwares and just try to create like things that I had fun making. And in that process, like I just ended up like discovering, I would say my art practice, which was centered around like play in a lot of ways. And then as time went by, as I put in more time into it, that I got more committed to it, it kind of evolved from there to where it is now, where I do use art as not just a mode to like explore new technologies, but also to talk about it, to talk about like everything that's on my mind, which are usually like things to do with just our society and how we react to tech, how we use tech in our daily lives and everything. And also a little bit of like, I would say like I try not to take it too seriously because I like to approach art with just like a little bit of salt so that I can have a clearer perspective on things. And yeah, so that's me, and that's a little bit about my art practice.
And how did you find yourself joining the art world initially?
So I think initially because I was always like making art, I wasn't really like putting it up anywhere. It was just like for me to like play around. It was for me to discover these new tools, new techniques that I could use in my um, design process. But at the same time, I think I got to a point where I was really happy creating what I was. And then I started putting these up just on my social medias and everything. And yeah, that's how I would just put my art up. And I think during the pandemic is when I started taking it more seriously, is when I also came across NFTs. I thought that I had more time to put into this. I had more time to develop more fully fleshed pieces, to create series that I resonated with better, and just to develop my, I would say, art practice from there. And yeah, NFTs helped me kind of look at it from a perspective that was not just like where I was just making things and putting them out. It was about like how to take it beyond that, how to actually connect with people, how to go about like monetizing it in some way as well, where people can actually collect my work. People, I can actually put it out in like places where it had never been before. So yeah.
Absolutely. We've definitely seen NFTs be used as a really interesting mode of community building and monetization for artists. So it's great that you were able to find it, especially during the pandemic where a lot of artists were unable to operate or generate income in the ways they previously did. So, yeah. So, can you talk about some previous NFT collections that you've released in the past?
Sure. So I think till now I have released about six NFTs, and they have all been like one of one pieces. I have also released a series of three pieces, which are these meditative audiovisual loops, which are called mudras. And these were like, I think, some of my uh, I would say most intense work at that point, which is basically like I just wanted to create pieces which felt calm in a certain way because these were created during 2021. And it was just a time of like extreme chaos. And whenever I would like log into the internet, 100,000 things were happening. And I think it also reflected something within me, which was just, I was overwhelmed all the time. And so I just wanted something where people could just sit and interact with this work, where they could just sit with it and have it be a sort of experience which transcended not just it wasn't just limited to the visuals, but also to the audio aspect of it. So I collaborated with this musician friend of mine called Jokt, and he created music for these pieces. And I think he's done a wonderful job, and they loop in a very beautiful way. And you can literally just sit and go through all three of them. And yeah, they're some of my favorite work ever. So that was the last NFT series I did before I made enhance and consume, which are my newest work, which are my work that I used by that I made by using AI.
So definitely tell us about these newest works. What was the process behind creating them?
Course, I think these came into being like the end of last year somewhere, where everybody was freaking out about like AI and AI kind of entering the art world. People were freaking out about AI taking over their jobs, of stealing their work and whatnot. And there was just like a lot of conversations happening around artificial intelligence and creativity. And for me, it's always like, because I have always been like really like I try to like keep up with all the technologies that are out there, try to use them in my work in some way, because I just feel very passionate about it. I feel like it's a way for me to expand my work and my understanding of just the art world in general as well. So I just dived deep into it, and I found myself in a situation where I was so conflicted all the time. I was so overwhelmed by all these anxieties that came with using a tool that I feel like nothing like this had ever existed before. And it just kind of changes so much about what we understand about art, what we understand about putting time into a skill-based practice, into like developing your ideas and everything. And suddenly you have like this black box technology, which we understand like very little about, but we can get so much out of it. And I think I thought like there were so many questions in that domain that was so interesting to me, that I felt like I want to explore these more. I want to explore these questions a little more. I want to ask more of these questions, because we're at an interesting time where it could go anywhere. People can use these for like to create like great things, but people can also use it to like just destroy everything that we've ever had and we've considered as art, right? So for me, enhance and consume are like these two pieces that interact with each other, and they both kind of talk about, one is about like just the increasing amount of content, increasing amount of art that we consume on a daily basis, that we are just like, as soon as I log into the internet, there's just like hundreds of things that I see. Suddenly we have access to everything from all around the world, different genres of work, different people that we wouldn't have known existed. And I think as much as it's the internet, it's also like the ease at which like AI aids in creating work. And I think it's only going to increase from here. So just that overwhelming feeling of like consuming content is what I wanted to capture with Enhance. And consume is more about like my reflection to this whole situation. It's also a self-portraiture work, and you'll see like it starts with my face and it turns into like some kind of an unrecognizable metal cog in some way, which is how I feel when I'm like working with these technologies sometimes, is because I feel like maybe I'm losing a lot of myself through this whole process, where I might not be able to like, once I look at the work that I've made at the end, maybe I don't see any reflection of myself in it, because the machine's done most of the work. And just this constant back and forth with AI and just all of these tools that I was using while creating this work, I think that's what I've tried to capture with Consume, because it also kind of loops back in a way where I come back to like being my human self, and then it loops back again to like going to this unrecognizable mess, right? and I love like just asking these questions and like creating work that's centered around all of these things that we know very little about.
So, how would you say overall is your general feeling now about AI? Now that you've created with it and you've been working with it for a number of months, so almost a year, how do you feel overall as an artist with your relationship to AI as a technology?
Think it's amazing as a technology because we've seen nothing like it. It makes us, as I said, question everything that we've ever known about, like art, about the creation of it, and everything. And I would say, like now that it's been almost like a couple of years that I have been actively working with AI now more than ever before, I am fascinated by it. I think it's an amazing piece of technology, but I'm also like really scared by it because I feel like at some point I personally will not be able to keep up with everything that's happening with all the possibilities. Like a lot of times I'm just sitting in front of my computer and I'm just like wondering what to do with it. And I feel like these are the questions that I did not have before because we were constantly like working, we were constantly trying to improve ourselves, getting things done and everything. And suddenly we're like, oh, we no longer need to think about any of those things. Now we have a complete different set of problems. And I feel like that's what AI has to offer. Those questions have only increased with time. And every day I have like new questions, I have new problems, I have new conflicts, I have new dilemmas about it. And I feel like I don't have many answers to any of these things, and I don't think I will anytime soon. We'll really have to wait years to see like how it affects just our culture in general, how people use it, how um, the way that we look at art, the way that we consume art changes. And I think that's where like that's where my interest lies. That's where like I think these discussions get interesting. And so, yeah, I feel like I'm just a bystander in a lot of these things.
Yeah, it seems like we all are in some ways, but it's important that you're a part of the movement to leverage it and you're a part of the early adopter phase. So you are shaping some of this future as well. So awesome. Well, thank you so much for giving us a bit of an insight about your background and your creative process, and then even more so about your views on AI. How can our viewers find you if they want to check out your work or support you as a creator?
So you can find me on Instagram. I go by Ninaad Kothawade, my full name. You can find me on Twitter. It's again Ninaad.Kothawade. And yeah, that's the best place to find me. If you go on my Instagram, all my work is up there. And you can always hit me up. And yeah, I'm always up for a conversation.
Awesome. All right. Well, we are looking forward to launching your collection on our platform and looking forward to posting this to our community who might have some follow up questions for you. So we'll go back and forth in that realm. But thanks so much.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to that.
Wonderful.